Hey guys, what's going on? I have a tutorial today for my how I basically get my quality. Um, it's not the greatest, but depending on your processor and your RAM and everything, it may take long because this process uses up a lot of your RAM and your processor power. So uh, let's get started. Go into Sony Vegas, and you're going to want to drag in your clip. And right off the bat, you're going to want to right click, click properties, and yours will start out like this. So it'll say smart resample. You need to disable the resample and click maintain aspect ratio. So you don't want to check on that. And just to show you guys, my recorder records at 200 frames per second. There were some people in my quality test that didn't believe me on that, but yeah, it's true. It is really 200 frames per second. YouTube just downgrades it to 30 frames per second, and also I can prove it to you right here. The file is 5 gigs and it's only 8 seconds long. So yeah, there you go. That's how much my recorder takes up for my space. So here I have just a Call of Duty 4 clip, and it's like a 5-man nade and then a triple spray right after it. Let's see if I can find the it was right there. So let me zoom in really quick. If you can see that, I got a 5-man nade right there. Really nice on Kill House Hardcore. Felt good. But anyways, not to brag or anything, just showing you. So first thing you're going to want to do is go to your project properties and make sure you choose the default HD 720 60p 1280 by 720 59.94 frames per second. I already know you guys are going to say this. If you have Sony Vegas 10 HD Platinum, it won't work with these settings, okay? You have to have either Sony Vegas 9 Pro or Sony Vegas 10 Pro, or I think 8 works also. But for motion blur type, you're going to want to make sure you have Gaussian and 32-bit flow point full range. This just makes the quality of the video a lot better. As for if you had 8-bit, I know audio uses 8-bit, but if you have 32-bit, then it makes the compositing gamma, which is the gamma is like the color in the video, and if it's on 2.222, you're gonna have like some weird stuff, and it's gonna make your video's file size a lot bigger, and it's not good. So you want to make sure you're on 32-bit flow point full range, and you can click start all new projects with these settings, click apply, and okay. So the next thing you're gonna want to know is these render settings that I'm about to show you are gonna probably take up about I don't know, 5 gigs for like not even a minute of footage. So you're gonna want to keep that in mind. You're gonna go to File, Render As, and for the first render, you have 2 renders. The first render, you don't want to do like a main concept AVC AAC, which is an MP4 file. You want to make sure that you don't have that, because the quality is going to be reduced by a lot. So you're going to want to choose Video for Windows AVI, okay? I know that's in all the Sony Vegases, so you won't have trouble with that. You're going to want to choose Default Template Uncompressed. That's very important. It has to be uncompressed. Uncompressed just means when you render a video with, say, WMV or MP4, it compresses the video and decreases the file size, which also decreases the quality. So when you have uncompressed, it doesn't take away the file size and it doesn't take away the quality. Go to Custom and make sure it's on HDV 720 1280 by 720, unless you are planning on doing like a what is it? Unless you recorded like a what's that cap card called for the Xbox and PS3? I forget. It's a Hop Hog. It's not a PVR. It's something else. It's a whatever. But you don't want to have that unless you have a really high recorder. Like mine, I can use that, but the file size is extremely large. So just go to HDV 1280 by 720. Make sure your frame rate is like the same as your video. So for me, I don't think Sony Vegas allows 200 frames per second, but it might. Yeah, the max frame rate is 100, so that's what I usually render mine out as. You want to make sure it's uncompressed, unless you're using like a H.264 codec. That is very high quality also, but this is the best quality you're going to get. So pixel aspect ratio is 1. A lot of people like 1.3333, but it's, I don't know, I have problems uploading to YouTube with that. It is higher quality, but 1.0 is perfectly fine. So then you're going to want to go to audio and make sure it's at uncompressed, and make sure your sample rate is at 192,000. Your bit depth is 24. Your stereo is, well, your channels is just on stereo. Unless you're using like 7.1, you can use 7 channels or something, but I'm just using stereo. Video rendering quality, you can either choose use project settings or click best, and then this, you don't have, I'm guessing you don't have 3D, so I just keep it at use project settings, and you're ready for your render. Now let me address this to you. It is going to take it might take a long time because it is uncompressed and it's getting the best quality for you. So your processor, you're not going to want to do anything such as watch YouTube videos or even operate your mouse while you're rendering, because just those little things can, I find that sometimes it'll skip a frame, like if I'm watching a video or something in the render, and it just screws it up. So you want to make sure that you're dedicating all of your RAM and processor power just to Sony Vegas. So another thing I'm going to show you how to do this is you can right click on your taskbar if you're using Windows 7. If not, you can do Control Delete and click Start Task Manager. But on Windows 7 you can just right click on the taskbar and click Start Task Manager. So I'm pretty sure you guys can see this, and you're going to want to make sure that you right click on Sony Vegas and click Go to Process. And when it's Vegas100.exe, you right click and click Set Priority. Never click Real Time, because that will overheat your computer. As you can see, Windows has detected your computer's performance is low. The reason why that is because I'm recording while I'm doing this, so this is a no-no for you guys. Click High. I'm not going to do that because you can already see it's telling me, yeah, your computer's going to do something bad. You can also, if you have like another way you can do this, then go ahead and do that, but this is just the way that I found out how to do it to get the best quality. Another thing, sorry, I'm just getting over like being sick, but another thing you can do to add to your quality is go to Video Effects and click Brightness and Contrast, reset to none, and you're going to want to just barely up the contrast just a little bit, like maybe to 0.5 or 6 or 7 or something like that. That's just going to make it a little bit darker, but it's going to bring out the brightness. Now you don't need to do any of that color curves or anything, but you can. I'm not a big fan of this. I know it just, people say, oh, I'm going to give you a color correction tutorial, and they say drag curves, do this for the brighter parts. So a lot of people tell you to do it on like this one. They'll just tell you make a nice little curve, but that's not really what I do. I put the dark on one curve, and then I go to another curve, add another one on there, and drag this one up, and it makes it better. And I don't really like having curves though, because it doesn't seem like that professional. So I like adding sharpen. Just click reset to none, and you don't need to mess with anything unless you want to add in like 0.15. But if you add in like 1, you can tell it's ridiculous. Even like 0.3, that's ridiculous. I just keep it at 0. 0 actually does do something. it doesn't just add none of it. It actually does, as you can see. So your quality is ready, and you can go ahead and render and save this as a template. The video for Windows uncompressed. So go ahead and click save. I'm not going to do that because I already have the video, and once you're done with that part, this is going to be a pretty long tutorial, so once you're done rendering your first video, the one that you just did right now, you're going to go ahead and if you like working in between After Effects and Vegas, that's the reason why I told you to do that with your quality at first. So now you can go ahead and let's see, I'm not going to start up After Effects, but it's really simple, okay? Just when you go into After Effects, you're going to just drag the clip in that you just rendered, the one with the default uncompressed. I recommend saving it to your desktop with a name that you can remember, so you can just easily drag it into your After Effects. So drag it into After Effects, and at the moment that you drag that in, you can just go ahead and add it into your composition and change your composition's frame rate to the same frame rate that you use to render this out. And most of you probably use 59.94, which is the HD PVR's recording frame rate. So go ahead and do that and set up your composition. And then once you're done with that, you can go ahead and do the effects that you like to your computer, or not to your computer. I was reading this as I was saying that. Go ahead and add the effects to your video, and don't worry, none of the effects that you add to it are gonna mess with the quality unless you add like some crazy bump map or ramp on your clips or something. But like little blur and Twixtor and all that stuff, don't worry about it. My computer's going all whack. It's trying to do stuff itself. So yeah, go and do that in After Effects, and then when you render it, you're gonna go to Render Settings, and you're gonna click on the I forget what it's called. It's right underneath Best Settings. You're gonna add your clip to the render queue, and then click on the thing underneath Best Settings, and you're gonna change it to AVI format, and you're gonna make it default uncompressed again with your frame rate. So then you can bring your final clip into Vegas. So I'm going to show you that now. You can bring, I'm just going to pretend that this is my final clip, and you're going to go to File, Render As, and then you're going to choose Main Concept AVC AAC.mp4, and I have a default template, so you're going to copy this, okay? You're going to save it as a preset, of course, after you do all this. Click Custom Frame Size and make it 1280 by 720, and make sure your profile is on main. Baseline is going to screw it up. It's just going to make it all look whack. The quality isn't going to be good. Frame rate, you're going to just want to make it 29.97 NTSC. Make sure it is like that. You cannot have like 60 frames per second, because YouTube is just going to downgrade it, and making it 60 frames per second is just going to up your, what's it called, your video size. There it is. Do not click Allow Source to adjust frame rate, because that'll change the frame rate. That's retarded. And not field order non-progressive scan, or you can do upper field first, but I recommend doing progressive scan. Pixel aspect ratio 1. Number of reference frames. Usually I do 2 or 3. And what a reference frame is it goes through every 3 frames when you're rendering, and it makes sure that everything's good. It'll just make your quality better. Click Use Deblocking Filter. You want to make sure that's checked. Do not do a constant bitrate. You want a variable bitrate, not 2-pass. You want it 14 million. You can do 20 million, but your quality is going to be a little bit better. You'll barely see anything. You might see it a little bit sharper and clear, but that's going to make your files big, so I recommend just 14 million. That's just what I use, because it's still really high quality. And then audio, just bitrate, make it 192,000, or you can do 320,000, which is really good. Make sure you check include audio, project, best settings for the video rendering quality. And go to custom again and rename it something you like and click save template. So now you're ready to render, and this is going to be your final render before you upload it to YouTube. So this is when all your editing is done and everything. So you're going to click save, and it's going to save it, and you're going to be able to upload it to YouTube with high quality. So if you found this tutorial helpful, I know it's been long, but I got to cut it right now because I won't be able to upload this. So yeah, thanks guys, later.